Hello, and welcome to another edition of Comics and Pop. I'm one of your hosts, Jonathan Rosen, joined by Troy Cannon and Carlos Hidaraga. And today, Marvel introduced a new trailer featuring all their future movies for the next couple of years. And how about before we start, let's take a look.
Oh my God!
I thought with the Iron Man dying, you get the clip of Iron Man dying again.
Oh my
That would
God!
make you cry.
So the one thing about this, about the video, when they show the fan reaction, right, from Endgame.
I love that.
When the Falcon says, "Hey, on your left, whatever, or on your right," and they all start coming in, right, and everybody starts cheering. I've watched that fan reaction 100 times minimum, today probably. And I mean, it always chokes me up. I remember when I was in the movie theater and I saw that, I was watching it with two of my buddies who were two, big comic book guys as well, and it's, you try to hold your composure, because you don't want to be like, So it's so amazing, man. I mean, everything that they do is just so well made, man. And just having Stan Lee's voice in there, especially now.
I love that having Stan Lee in there. Yeah.
Oh my God, man. I mean, I guess we're going to break down the movies that are coming and stuff, but just even before they got to the movie, to the movies that are coming, just that those first couple of minutes of watching that, if you're a comic book person, how could you not get choked up? It's so freaking cool, man.
Well, I'll just cut for 1 second. I mean, I didn't even try hiding it. I mean, when I was in the theater watching it, the tears were coming. The kids were like, "What's the matter?" I was like, "No, nothing, just the dust."
I couldn't even talk.
When I was in the service, there was this guy, this one particular athlete. I don't know if you guys have heard of him or not. This guy named Mike Tyson, and he would go into the ring. And he would beat the glue out of the other guy, and everybody would be.
I don't think I'm familiar with the guy. What's his name again?
Little dude.
Tyson, like the chicken company.
He would beat the guy in minutes, and he would bludgeon him. And everybody, when I was in the service, everybody in the room would be like, Tyson, and everybody would be like, Tyson. I have to admit, I would sit there and I would think to myself, I wonder what that other guy is going to do, because he just got on national television in front of his mother and family. I feel sorry for that guy. That's why when I'm seeing this video, I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, what is DC going to do? They're the guy that just got beat up by Tyson. Somebody working for DC saw this and is smacking herself in the head saying, what are we going to do now? They should start that over. I love Marvel so much that I feel bad for DC, because I'm thinking, what are they going to do?
And yet you're wearing your Superman shirt.
And I'm wearing a Superman,
Probably in about 5 years from now, we'll see a Snyder cut of this video. It'll be like a 12-minute cut of the video and stuff, and it'll be all dark and stuff. And
I mean, that's a whole different conversation. But DC has not been able to gain any inroads. I mean, they don't know. There's no reaction that I've seen in any upcoming DC movies like there are with Marvel. The excitement or anything.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the excitement for that's been built up in Marvel as well was also because of the pandemic. Because some of these movies that they announced, they should have been, they were meant to come out last year.
Right.
The Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals. These movies should have been out already, right? So, I mean, we've been waiting for these movies, for over a year, basically. So it's like the excitement, just seeing that anything now that we have actual dates of them coming out. I mean, barring another pandemic or something. DC, we have 3 movies coming out this year. 4 movies coming out this year, actually.
I got 4 movies: Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Spider-Man.
5
just this year.
5. We have Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Spider-Man. Yeah, 4. Me and my math, baby.
Your math is still good. Yes.
Remember, 6 plus 4 plus 3 equals 2.
And they got their TV stuff too. They're what is it, Disney Plus?
Yep.
So they're doing every 45 days or whatever. So they got a bunch of those coming out too. There.
Well,
I mean, I think
there's
this
a lot of
podcast-
excitement. So there's a lot of excitement coming for all the thing. We're not even talking about the TV stuff today. We could dive into it a little bit, but let's start one by one. Let's break it down. We did see clips from three movies. We saw little clips from Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and Eternals. All right, let's break it. What do you guys make from those little tiny clips? I know there was not much to go on, but just what the little bit we saw.
For the Black Widow, my first thought when I see that, well, I've got two thoughts. One is, since they're introducing their Soviet super soldier, right? The Guardian, I'm thinking, is his entire team going to be there? The Soviet super soldiers, are they introducing all of them? Because they had a mutant. They had three mutants on their team. So I'm thinking maybe that's how they're bringing the mutants, because the word is that mutants are going to, show up, or at least be hinted at in this movie. So I'm thinking there were three of them on his team. So I wonder about that. And my second thing is, with the raft and all of those people that are getting captured and placed on the raft, I'm pretty sure that the villain, Taskmaster, is going to make it. He's going to, or he or
I
she
hope so.
is going to survive, because they're going to put him on the raft.
So
I hope. I hope I hope Taskmaster does show up. Taskmaster is one of the best villains in Marvel to me.
Yeah.
So for me, for those three movies, Black Widow, I mean, to me, it kind of almost feels like we've already seen it. Like, I think because it was supposed to come out, such a while ago.
We've heard so much about it.
It's basically right. We heard so much about it, and it's an origin story, right? Because we already know that Black Widow is dead, right? So she died in Endgame, so it's an origin story. So I think it's going to be more of, like, I guess what Troy was saying about the other characters that they introduced. And Taskmaster, to me, is like one of the coolest villains in a Marvel universe. I mean, the Taskmaster, the Avengers, what is it? I forgot what number is 196. Is it? No. Anyway, the Avengers, the first appearance of them, that cover, that's one of my favorite covers of all time. I wish I should have taken it out so I could show it, because I actually have it. But it's
failure
to me,
to
it's going to be. Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, it would have been nice to prepare for this, but to me, just the fact that they're introducing him, the Red Guardian, and all the things that are going to come from that movie, it's awesome. But to me, I mean, the gem out of the three movies for me personally is Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings, because we're talking about the Mandarin. And for those of you who don't know, Mandarin is one of if not Iron Man's biggest villains from the get-go. And in Iron Man 3, they totally destroyed the Mandarin. The way they brought him into the Marvel universe was just sacrilege, especially being an Iron Man guy. So the fact that they're taking the Mandarin and Shang-Chi, and they're actually bringing them, I mean, they're putting a little twist to it, because I know that they're making it so that they're combining two characters. They're combining Shang-Chi's dad and the Mandarin into one. And, that's not really accurate to the comics, but, at least it's more accurate than freaking Ben Kingsley and as an actor, some Shakespearean actor playing the Mandarin, right?
Yeah,
so that's the one that I'm really excited about, because, that's like my roots, man. Iron Man, the Mandarin. And, Shang-Chi's always been one of my favorite characters as well. So that's my movie, man. That's the one that I'm waiting on. And that comes out, actually, I wrote it down, September 3rd. So my birthday is August 9th.
That's your birthday.
So these are my notes. Look, so I wrote them down really small, and I'm blind. So like, I'm going to be right here. So every time I'm going to go to my notes, I'm going to be like coming up here, so you guys get to see all the pores of my nose and stuff. But but it's coming out September 3rd. My birthday is August 29th. So it's going to be like my birthday present is Shang-Chi.
I thought the Shang-Chi clip was amazing. I thought that was the best one in there. I mean, I love, first of all, Marvel anyway, but I love Kung Fu movies in general. I can watch them all day long on a loop. It was incredible. I thought I was like really excited for that one. And I never really even got into the comics of Shang-Chi. And I thought this was incredible. It got me all excited to go see. I didn't even love these comics. I mean, out of the three of them, Black Widow, I was, I probably liked the most. And there he goes again.
Keep talking.
Well, there we go. So out of the three of them, Black Widow was probably always the one that I liked the most, but I never read Shang-Chi really. I mean, I read it a couple of times. Eternals, I got to say, I felt the Eternals comic, I mean, people are going to go get it on me for this. I thought for the most part it was boring. I just like never really got into it. And this got me excited for all the things. I mean, it's the same thing I mentioned last week, like, Guardians of the Galaxy. Who cared? Who cared about the comics really? and then the movie was unbelievable. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Eternals.
With the Guardians of the Galaxy, I used to like the original with Vance Astro and Charlie. Was it Charlie 27 and all those guys? I like that one, the original Yondu. But when they changed it and they put Peter Quill in the comic books,
right.
I didn't see it anymore. I didn't read it anymore. I wasn't interested. But the Eternals, like you said, they weren't interested either. I read them, and I picked up a few issues, trying to jump on board and saying, well, maybe it'll be worth a buck in the future. But after a while, I was like, nah, maybe I'll just pick up the Captain America instead, or something else, because I didn't like it. I like Icarus a little bit, but not a lot. I thought he should have joined the Avengers, and he never did, so I lost interest. He was strong. He was invulnerable. He had those laser blasts. He was like low-level Superman, but they never did anything with it. And then, was it Cersei? I think it was Cersei,
yep.
the woman. She was good. She joined the Avengers for a while, and she was interesting. She had an almost, one of those one bad day, and I'm going to be a villain type person. And I was always waiting for her to zap the Avengers. But they didn't run with that either. There's a lot of things that I thought they should have run with. They didn't consult me. They didn't call me. I was waiting for an email. Never
they should have consulted you. Yes.
They should have. What's up with that? But
so for me, the Eternals are, I don't know. I had a little bit of a pause on it, kind of like with the Guardians of the Galaxy. The Guardians of the Galaxy, but what made it so good is that they took a comedic aspect to it, right? So,
yeah.
We were able to relate to the characters, to Quill and to Drax and stuff, and obviously Rocket Raccoon, and the whole I Am Groot thing. I mean, it all became kind of like a little bit of pop culture, like a lot of the stuff that these guys are saying became kind of like, popular in pop culture, where the Eternals to me are a little bit more like the Inhumans, right? So, and we know that they had the TV show and it didn't really take off that, unfortunately. So I was a little worried about they're going to make an Eternals movie, right? But I mean, it's got a solid
It wasn't
cast.
good.
Huh?
It wasn't good.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Right, it wasn't good at all. The TV show. So I was kind of like, I wonder if because the Eternals really are. They're not funny. The Eternals. Right. These are like godlike people. You know what I mean? Kind of like the Humans. So it's not meant to. You can't really take it the funny route the way you did with the Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm definitely a little interested of how they're going to do it. I've read up on it and how they're going to do it, but I wonder if hopefully, people take to it. I mean, we will obviously, but I don't know. The jury's still out. I hope it's not the first like major flop when it comes to the movies, but I'm kind of have a little bit of a doubt about it. And back to the Master of Kung Fu. Obviously, because of Troy's great editing, you didn't see me walk away again. But one of the things that I'm really excited, another thing that I'm excited about the Master of Kung Fu is the one of the villains, which is the Death Dealer. And the Death Dealer is a lot like the Taskmaster. And it's that kind of a cool type hero. And Jonathan and I don't know if Troy did, but Jonathan and I used to collect Marvel Legends. So they have these versions of pretty much of all this different superheroes, and they have the different waves coming out. And it's usually like they come out with like 7 figures, and then they have like a Build-A-Figure. So you collect all 7, you can open them up, and you can build a giant figure out of them.
And that Galactus figure was awesome. I got to say that.
Oh my God. Fantastic. That and the Sentinel, all of them great, right? But they just came out with one for the Shang-Chi movie, and one of the dolls, the Death Dealer one, it's like sold out. You can't get it anywhere because they've never made a Death Dealer action figure before. They have a Master of Kung Fu Marvel Legend, but not the movie version. But the Death Dealer was the first time they've ever made it. and I figured I'd break out the first appearance of the deck to you guys, since we are comics and pop. So this was one of those dollar books a couple of months ago. Now it's going for like $100 because of the Death Dealer. But yeah, man. But the Eternals, I think that, I'm excited about it from what I've seen, but I'm still a little skeptic. I'm like, I wonder if this is going to be the first Marvel flop. So that's where I'm at on the Eternals.
Well, when they did Thor, I expected Thor to be rigid and everything, but they played him comedic, and it was cool.
Right.
On the Eternals,
only for the third one, though, really.
Yeah, and one he was kind of rigid, but after that he was a comedian, Fat Thor and everything. It was funny, was it Noob Master 69 or whatever? Right. Yeah, he was funny. On the Eternals, they've got 3 comedians that are going to be on there. The guy that plays Kano is going to be he's a comedian. He's a funny guy. So I'm thinking they got 3 comedians, and I want to see like the guy that played Galactus. I'm curious about him because he was in another movie that I liked, Train to Busan, and about like zombies on a train. Is a Korean movie.
Oh, I saw that movie. The Train to Busan. I saw that movie.
Busan, yeah. He's the big guy, the one that tied the things around his arm. That's who's going to be Gilgamesh. So he was a tough dude, and anybody that can beat a zombie to death with their bare hands, yeah, I want to see his movie. So he's going to play Gilgamesh, and I'm thinking it could be good. I hope it could be good. They've got to be sitting there looking at it, saying, "Let's do this with it." They got to. I think they're going to have some comedy. I think it'll be good.
Memo to self, we got to do a zombie episode one time. But anyway, the thing for me is that, Marvel has built, and we've talked about this before, Marvel has built enough goodwill that you got to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm also worried about an Eternals movie. I like I said, I found the comic boring, but we got to give them the benefit of the doubt.
I'm going to love it. Yeah. But like I said, that's the only one that I have at that. Like after that, we have Spider-Man No Way Home, right? And we know that's going to be amazing, right? Especially because of all the people that have been, everyone that has been kind of like not confirmed, but kind of confirmed that are going to be in it. Everyone's like, that's the movie that everyone's really waiting for. They don't have a clip for it yet, but that's the one. That's the last one.
Well, besides the other two besides the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, supposedly in it, although no one's confirming it. The one that did confirm already that he's in it is Alfred Molina's back as Doc Ock, and I was like, oh,
now what's his name from Daredevil? Jumping up and down,
yes. What?
What's his name? Daredevil.
Charlie Cox is going to be in it.
Charlie Cox is confirmed. Yeah.
Yeah,
and I read Jamie Foxx's back as Shocker, so like,
and I heard maybe Punisher too. The Bernthal is Punisher, right?
Yeah.
Just. It's going to be like a star-studded event. It's in the comic book world, it's going to be amazing.
I don't know if he's going to be in that movie, but they confirmed a guy to play Miles Morales, so he's got to be in that movie.
That too.
That's
who they get from Miles Morales? I didn't even see that. Who'd they get?
I gotta look it up. I can't remember his name.
But that movie is gonna be insane. That comes out. That's the last one coming out this year.
Last one of the year. I gotta tell you, of all the clips, and this is going to sound ridiculous, out of all the little things they showed in that trailer today, with all the movies the one that made me squeal the most when they got to the very end and that Fantastic Four, that Fantastic Four logo came up. I was like, I started shaking.
No, absolutely.
I got to see the Fantastic Four done right. We've also said that. We said that last week, but when I saw that little logo at the end today, I was all excited. I cannot wait to see the Fantastic Four done by Marvel finally.
Fantastic Four is probably the starship team of Marvel, right? That's when Marvel first started, was Fantastic Four #1. That's like probably what, that's when you think of Marvel Comics, you think of, and teams, besides the Avengers, obviously, and the X-Men.
First family.
Fantastic Four. the fact that they ruined them in the movies and stuff kind of like made people, you know, be like, yeah, exactly, that they destroy. I mean, the movie wise, they destroyed them. Even that first one that they made back in the 80s that never really came out, it just went straight to the videotape, you know. And to me, I mean, one of the main reasons,
a rights issue, right?
Yeah, one of the main reasons was they could never get the thing right. They always messed up the thing, you know. Like the thing is like, you know, they just didn't get right.
That was him. He didn't want to be seen in like CGI or anything. He wanted to have his own face and makeup be also
right. But think about how far Marvel has come. That you know, back then, you know, they would, you know, they having chick list on the movie was more important than the actual movie.
Right.
You know? Right. Now, you know, these actors will do anything to be in a Marvel movie. You know what I mean? So. It's amazing.
Well, I mean, I like the Avengers, but I was always reading comics. Was Fantastic Four was always much more.
Oh, absolutely.
So I cannot wait for that. I don't even know who's. Although we hear rumors who was cast in it, I got to see, you know, it become official.
Yeah. So the last movie that they had on there was Guardians Volume 3 coming out May 5th in 2023. So Fantastic Four comes out after that. So we got to wait a couple of years. Yeah.
That was it.
So what do you think about the other movies? I wrote them down here. I got so after Spider-Man No Way Home, we have Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness comes out March 25th, 2022. And we got Thor Love and Thunder May 6th, 2022. Mm-hmm. That's with Jane Foster's Thor, right? Then we have Black Panther Wakanda Forever, July 8th, 2022. Then the Marvels, that was interesting. Captain Marvel 2 is actually the Marvels, November 11th, 2022. And Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania, February 17th, 2023. And Volume 3 for the Guardians on May 5th, 2023.
I got to wait 2 more years for Guardians of the Galaxy.
So. Basically, yeah. Exactly 2 more years.
When I hear the name,
May 3rd, right?
Who's going to be in it? Like I think about Fantastic Four, and I'm thinking, okay, who's the villain? Dr. Doom, Silver Surfer, the Kree, the Skrull, Galactus. I'm thinking, who are they going to stick in there? The Frightful Four. I'm wondering who's going to be their villain. When I hear Black Panther, I'm thinking, okay, well, it's got to be Namor, right? Because unfortunately, you know, Chadwick's no longer with us, so they've got to get rid of that Black Panther. They've got to show it on screen, or at least mention it on screen that he's not there anymore. They can't put Shuri, which I hear they're going to do, as the new Black Panther without explaining that the other one's gone. So something had to happen.
I'm very curious to see what's going to be with Black Panther. I mean, he was phenomenal in the role. I mean, that movie was just such a huge success. And they said they're not going to recast Black Panther. So I am very curious to see how they're going to handle this in the movie.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be Shuri. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Shuri's going to be the Black Panther. I mean, they did it in the comics, so I'm pretty sure that's the route that they're going to end up going. As far as the villain for Fantastic Four, I mean, I wonder. See, I don't know. I wonder if they're going to go origin story, or if maybe they're going to start introducing the characters here and there in the other movies. You know, because if they do an origin story, right, you can't have a Fantastic Four origin story without Doctor Doom, right? Because that's, you know, he's the main character. But at the same time, the movie that leads into it is Guardians of the Galaxy. So if you're thinking Guardians of the Galaxy, and maybe if that's going to lead in, if that's the last movie that you see before Fantastic Four, and you know how all these movies are linked and everything is linked, how could you not do Galactus, you know? Have a preview to Galactus and actually do Galactus correctly, do him the right way, you know?
Yeah.
So I would love to
my way of thinking with Galactus is that has to be the big bad of the, you know, everyone get together at the end of the next phase. You know, that like we just had Thanos, that all these movies are coming together. Galactus is more powerful than Thanos. I mean, really. So that's got to be the one where the culmination, where everyone gets together to fight Galactus in some movie.
Right. And I mean, Galactus comes together with the Silver Surfer, so they would introduce them together because the Surfer is obviously, you know, the herald of Galactus. So, but I mean, like, but I'm saying they can introduce Galactus into, like I said, who knows? I mean, there's so many things that they can do, man. I mean, like you said, they could do scrolls, you know. I mean, they can even do the freaking Mole Man for You know, there's so many routes that they can take. I mean, the Mole Man is kind of laughable, but he's he was their first villain that they fought. You know, Doctor Doom was the second villain that they fought. You know, if you're gonna do a true origin story, it's the Mole Man, right? So there's so many ways that they can go. These are just exciting times to be doing a podcast about comic books, boys. Exciting times.
Yeah. I'm thinking Adam Warlock has got to be coming soon too. You know, they teased him.
They did tease him
twice, and now they flat out said Adam. So I'm like, okay, well here we go. Now we're cooking, because I like him too. He's one of my favorite characters. And
what movie do you think they would put him in? Troy? Marvel's maybe.
Well, with Marvel's, I think they're going to explain how Monica got and lost the name Captain Marvel, and I think they're going to introduce Miss Marvel, or at least give the name.
I've read Miss Marvel. Right.
Too. Yeah, they're going to do that. So I think it's going to be those three ladies with the Marvels, and the fact that they have essentially the same name. That's my guess. But I mean, Monica Rambeau, she's Photon, she's Spectrum, and she's Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel. You know, she's got a few names, so she could have that name and then drop it because of whatever. And then the Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, could give it to the kid. So I'm thinking maybe there's going to be something about the name. I don't know, but she seemed a little upset in the TV show when they mentioned her. You know, did you catch that when they were talking about her?
Something falling out?
Yeah, so maybe there's a falling out. You know, I mean, her mom and her were best friends, and her mom isn't with us anymore, so maybe she's like, you're here and
blame too.
I want my mommy.
Well, speaking of the TV, I mean, I read the past couple. Guys probably seen this too. That Spider-Man was supposed to Spider-Man was supposed to appear in the last, Falcon Winter Soldier. They had that was the plan, and they were told no. They wanted to put him in there. And also Doctor Strange, I don't know if you guys saw this one today. Doctor Strange was written throughout the WandaVision series. He was supposed to be a huge part of that too. And then he was even supposed to appear on some of the commercials, like talking directly to Wanda in some of the commercials. And he was going to appear in that last scene, but they felt that it would take too much away from Wanda, from Scarlet Witch, so they took that out. But he was supposed to appear there, so I guess everyone's speculation was right originally.
Yeah, I think in Multiverse of Madness, I'm wondering who's going to be the villain in that also, because he's got so many magical villains and so many magical people in Marvel. Was it Midnight Suns, Blade, Ghost Rider? A lot of people, and I hope they do Ghost Rider right.
Me too. I love Ghost Rider. I love Ghost Rider comic. I'm one of the few that did not mind the Nicolas Cage one. I don't think it was great, but I did not mind it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first one. The second one wasn't as good, but I did enjoy the first one. I did enjoy the first. I enjoyed both of them, but the first one I thought was a little better than the second one.
Yeah,
I like Nicolas Cage. So. Who knows? I guess when they reintroduce the Ghost Rider, which route they're going to go? If they're going to go, the Nicolas Cage rider, if they're going to go the new, the one that they had on the TV show on yeah.
I think they just got to recast the role. I mean, just like they did now for Blade coming in, they recast the role. I think they're putting Wesley Snipes in the movie, they said, but I think you just got to recast that initial role.
Yeah.
Right.
I like, Nicolas Cage is okay, but sometimes if he's like really Nicolas Caging it up, I'm like, when he stares on the screen and is like laughing, I'm thinking, what just happened? What happened? Because sometimes
I'm crazy eyes.
He's looking at me in the screen and I'm thinking he's staring right at me and he's screaming, laughing about something. And I'm checking my clothes. I'm like, what did I do?
I did love him as that Spider-Man, the Spider-Man Noir is in Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah. I did love him in that.
I mean, a lot of these guys, a lot of these actors, they're getting long in the tooth as well. So, I mean, how old is Nicolas Cage? He's got to be in his 50s now, right? Mid-50s, pushing 60s. So, I mean, I'm sure they're gonna go with a younger route as far as they might like sneak him in there or something. But I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna go. Yeah, they got to start going with younger actors and stuff. Especially if they want to have these characters around for the next 5 to 10 years and stuff. I think they'll probably go the younger route as well.
So out of all things, so we're close to wrapping up time here, according to our producer here. So what movie? Which one are you most excited about out of all the ones that I mentioned?
Wow, I mean, Fantastic Four, obviously, right? But I mean, they didn't really mention it. I mean, like, out of the ones coming out this year, for me personally, is Shang-Chi, right? Because
this year is Shang-Chi.
Yeah, because of the whole Mandarin connection and my Iron Man. But I mean, that Spider-Man movie at the end of the year is going to be insane. So that's probably my second favorite. But Shang-Chi is my favorite. And out of the ones coming out the next couple of years, man, I don't know, man. I mean, Guardians is awesome always. Thor: Love and Thunder. I think that's going to be interesting too to see how they play with Jane Foster as Thor. That's going to be pretty interesting. So, but Shang-Chi, man, I'm Shang-Chi all the way. Master of Kung Fu, baby. Woo-hoo. Here you go, Master of Kung Fu.
I'm curious about what's going to happen in Eternals. I'm curious what they're going to do because they're going to go through a really big chunk of time. Was it Dane Whitman is going to be in there, the Black Knight? So they're going through a big chunk of time. So they should be able to cover a lot of things. I'm curious about that. But the one that I want to see, I think, with the next ones that are coming up is Multiverse of Madness. I want to see that one. I'm curious because it's supposed to be a horror. And I'm like, oh, that'll be good. But if you're talking about like over the next year or so, probably Thor: Love and Thunder. I want to see Jane with the hammer.
Yeah.
And if they're introducing Zeus, they're probably going to introduce Hercules. And I'm curious who's going to do that.
That would be interesting. Yeah, I wonder who will play Hercules. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I got to, well, since you're asking about who's going to be Hercules, I got a confession to make.
You've been in training. You've been looking a little bit more muscular lately. I'll give you that.
Right, exactly. As for me, I think curious, I'll say curious and excited. Curious, I am very curious to see what's going to happen with Black Panther. It's going to be very difficult, to replace the presence. He's going to be, Chadwick is going to, his presence is going to be felt all over that movie. So I'm very curious to see what they're going to do without recasting it. So it's, like I said, such a huge success. I don't know what they're going to do now. There's such a blow to the franchise, but hopefully they'll be able to do that. Excited. There's so many. I mean, how do you pick? Like we said, it's, being a Spider-Man guy, I'm curious to see that, but I cannot wait for Guardians and really cannot wait to see what happens with Fantastic Four. And there's the dog.
I hear Killmonger is not dead. Killmonger is still alive, from what I hear. What's the guy's? Michael B. Jordan. He did with the I don't know her name, the one that plays Shuri. They did a thing. They've got a thing on the internet where she tells him that they're going to start filming. And he's like, yeah, and they, the thing shows up for Black Panther. And I'm like, okay, so he's not dead, which makes sense. I mean, if a guy gets shot in New York or wherever they were at, and they can fly, it's in his spine, they fly all the way to Wakanda, they prep him, and they save his life. I mean, Killmonger was like right there. He got stabbed, but he was like right there. All they had to do was walk down the hallway. So I'm like, that makes sense that he's still alive.
No one's really dead in Marvel. I'm still waiting for this. Black Widow's got to come back too. I mean, that's going to happen.
In time, Loki visits her in time, so he might, for some reason, snatch her out of there and bring her back.
Although they said that they can't be done. They said they can't be, once it's there, it's there. But, this is a comic book movie. So hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, what are they going to do with Guardians of the Galaxy? Are they going to bring back Gamora, right? Because she died the same way.
She's already back.
They replaced her.
She's already back, though.
Is she?
The one from the
past.
Right.
So she's there. That's why I was thinking with the because Loki is the Loki from the past, because the Loki from our future got killed by Thanos. He got choked out. But the Loki from the past, when they went back in time, he got the cosmic cube and zapped himself out of there. So he's bouncing around in time. So he runs into the Black Widow back in time before she dies. He could just bring her back here.
No, but you guys got to remember, and at the end of Endgame, right, when Tony snapped, everyone that came from the past, disappeared. Right? What was Gamora the only one that didn't disappear? Is that what you're telling me?
Maybe.
Well, they said that she's not part of the team anymore because she wasn't real. She didn't go through those experiences with them anymore.
No, right. But I'm saying when he snaps, he defeats pretty much the whole army that came in from the past, Thanos' army, right? So wouldn't Gamora have snapped with them as well?
I think they can identify, because remember when Hulk was about to snap and they told him, now look, only bring back the people who died from the snap. Right. So it must be specific. They must be able to target people. I assume they must be able to target people. So maybe Tony was like, I'm going to snap. Yeah,
but I don't want to say Gamora. He doesn't even know who Gamora is.
He probably just said, everybody that was trying to kill my friends that came from the future, or some kind of thing.
This sounds like a subject for another day. But anyway, that concludes another episode of Comics and Pop. We thank you for listening, and remember, please subscribe. Until next week, I'm Jonathan.
Carlos, I still want to talk about this Gamora thing, but all right. Goodbye. She's dead.
Until next time, guys.